So, yesterday was April Fool's Day. A lot of cool jokes, a lot of fun that's had. I like the Minecraft joke about removing hatred and love. Think you could go to hell because you keep making great stuff like the Tauntaun backpack and the Voltron kitty castle. I hate you, you sons of bitches. But of course, what wasn't a joke was there was an actual direct yesterday, and with a lot of great, awesome announcements that showed Nintendo's making real progress. And seeing how I'm the last person who still likes and cares about Nintendo, I thought might as well be my job to defend them and all the great things they're doing. So let's go right through all the things that happened and caught my eye through the direct. Uh, Sorry, first I'm just gonna be using my so just go through order. The first big thing they talked about was Smash Brothers. Um, of course, Mewtwo, is coming. And they announced his price if you don't have the code and you didn't buy both. It's gonna be about $3.99 or $4.99, depending on the version you have. Um, Personally, I don't like it because it seems a little expensive for a character. But that, to be fair, I do remember paying for, I think $5, $6 for Yoda on Smash Brothers for the PS3. So I'm not a huge fighting expert fan, so it seems about fair. But even then, it's like, but I digress. They also announced they're getting new Mii parts that look more like the characters. Those are much cheaper. I think those range around 20 cents, 10 cents. Very cheap. It's for parts you can unlock. Um, Lucas was announced, and I'm sure a lot of people are upset. Oh, Lucas again. Nobody likes Lucas. And while I can't say I do, I am happy because it does mean, Mewtwo came back, Lucas came back, so potentially any of the other characters come back. Of course, except for Snake, especially with all the stuff Hideo Kojima going on now, it's a little bit of a BI. Um, uh, the last two for the Smash Brothers were, the Smash Brothers fighting ballot, which allowed people to submit characters they would like to see, and that's it. I mean, I'm not sure how this is any different from the emails and the tweets and everything we've been doing before, but I guess it's a more quicker way if you're talking directly to the developers. Nice. Guarantee they're gonna use one example they already knew, like, oh, here's Lanky Kong or something like that, even though they already were gonna do it. And of course, they're launching a new thing where any amiibo you tap unlocks a demo, just like the other parts of Smash Brothers have done before. Sorry, just a little early. Um, so just like in those games, how you can play short demos, amiibos are essentially doing the same thing. But the cool part about that is they allow you to jump around. So, for example, in the old version, you had 3 minutes to just play the game, um, any random level, and that's it. This one you can hop around. So you can do the start of the game, the end of the game. It's not It's not like some of the early Plus games where you got the whole game on a timed demo. There are select levels, and certain things will vary, but it's cute. It's free. You got an amiibo, more reasons to use them. Um, and after that, they followed that up with just more news about Mario Maker. Talking about, it's coming out in September, so that's another one for this year. And just, saying how it's the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, so I'm sure they're going to do a lot of great stuff throughout the year. After that was Yarn Yoshi. Not much to say about that, except for the yarn. They're making a limited run of actual amiibos made out of felt and yarn and real soft material, which I just love. I'll personally admit I have not bought an amiibo yet, but this might be the run just because of how soft and adorable and cute he is. And if you use the Yarn Yoshi amiibo in Yarn Yoshi, it unlocks sort of a co-op mode where you can play with your friends and you can suck each other up and throw each other around, which is cute. You know, stuff like that. I'm hoping a lot of people more try. Now that I do think about it, where it's like, here's a little extra game mode. It doesn't change the game. It doesn't make it easier or harder. Just here's a little extra thing. Um, and then after that, they followed up with a bit of Splatoon. Not much to say about that, May 9th, but already you could start to see Nintendo's really got a great year shaping up. They got Mario in September, Splatoon in May, so at least for the next couple of months, we're going to have at least one major Nintendo release every month or so, give or take. Which, look, I'm trying to keep this purely Nintendo. I digress. After that, they started talking about bringing 64 and DS games to the Wii U. My first thought when I heard this news was, why is it not already? But all the same, great. The prices vary. Some of them are as low as $6. Some are high as 10, but they're around that range, about $10 or so per game. Of course, they're limited to each console, and you can only use them on the Wii U. But still, $10 for stuff like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time and Donkey Kong 64. All those great games. It's not a bad thing. And I do like with the DS, they give you a lot of options in terms of top and bottom screen, just on the screen itself. A lot of options how to play with it. And I'm hoping the more people play with DS games, they learn to adapt that gameplay style to the home console. Because as I've always said, really a Wii U is just a big DS. So if we can build games, like Ninja Gaiden, where you hold it sideways like a book, or stuff for you do weird stuff with the tablet, or stuff like that, where you draw it from the bottom, and I digress. But yeah, awesome, nothing major. Then they got into a bunch of downloadable titles. None of these really jump out to me, but again, it's what this means for the possible future of the eShop excites me. Excuse me. Sorry, with all the news I'm crazy today. The first one was when you buy a copy of Don't Starve, you get a second copy to gift to a friend. Now again, I'm not an expert on the PC market, but I know you can get other gamers games and stuff like that, and I think you can trade the code once you're done with it. But even still, stuff like this is not done on PlayStation or Microsoft, to my knowledge. Again, so I think that's awesome. Again, there's been many times where I've wanted to play games with my friends, and we have to do that arduous task of, well, what game do you have? I have this, you have that. I don't want to play that. Can we buy this? Like, I don't want to buy a new game. So the fact that you can just buy a game, say, hey, you want to play with me? Sure, and here you go. And the other one was some, what was it, Mutant Mud game. If you buy the first one, you get about $10 off of the new one. And I did get into an argument with a brother, saying, isn't that similar to PlayStation, where if you buy the PS3 version, you can upgrade to the new one for $5? And it is similar, I will give you that, but this is a sequel. This is not a port to the Wii U or anything. This is a brand new sequel, new levels, new challenges, new stuff for Mutant Muds or whatever it's called. But you can play, this is a sequel, and meanwhile those are just ports. And again, it doesn't sound crazy, but I do like that Nintendo is honoring your loyalty and saying like, hey, you have the first one, here's a small discount. Sorry, apologies. Followed by that, there was a new Fire Emblem Shin Megami game. I personally have never played either of those series, but it did look interesting. I know people have been waiting since 2003, I believe. They announced it. Um, we got a very brief teaser, so not a lot of news on that one, but that's one of those ones I guarantee probably going to be a big part of their E3 Direct. Followed by that was a new Fatal Frame, which again I haven't played. The only reason I bring it up is going back to the DS thing. I do like it because it's using the gamepad in a very inventive way. You take pictures, you scan for stuff. You know, it uses the gamepad as opposed to trying to force a Fatal Frame game onto the Wii U. So remember, people, bad consoles don't make bad games. It's bad people. After that was Pokemon Rumble World, which apparently is free to play. It has a lot of microtransactions, and if you watch even 5 seconds of the trailer, you can see that, and you get boosts, and you collect diamonds, and the more diamonds you have, you can do more stuff. And again, so here's the thing. Even with this, I don't care for the game itself. It's just the practices that have me happy and also worried in that Nintendo is starting to do free-to-play. And again, this is the one area where I wish they would, because they're doing all those awesome things with the eShop and friend transfers and all stuff like that. But PlayStation and Microsoft are not doing this too much. There are PlayStation 4 games that do have microtransactions, but not the console itself. I just hope Nintendo isn't starting to bow to peer pressure and just saying, we'll give you this, you can give you that, because I know everybody wants it. So again, Pokemon Rumble U, the game itself, Pokemon Rumble game. I've never played them. They don't look interesting. But I'm just hoping this becomes an isolated incident. And if you are, if you do like the way Apple sets things up with App Store and all that stuff, this is an awesome game for you because you can buy, levels and stuff like that. They also briefly touched about Puzzles and Dragons and the Mario Pack coming May 2nd. Attack on Titan is getting a game on 3DS, which I fully admit I have been extremely lazy. I've not watched that show, but I do know it is very violent and very graphic. So I find it a little weird. All the consoles to get a Attack on Titan game. It's the 3DS, one of the most family-friendly consoles I can think of. Xenoblade Chronicle is April 10th. And the last big news they talked about was Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. I think that was the April Fool's joke because they chose to close with that. I mean, I don't play the Animal Crossing games, but I'm just like, don't you already do that in the main game? Obviously, in this game, you're hired by your animal friends to design their apartment and make it look nice, and you can fail. But it's like, what do you do beyond the 5 minutes it takes to do that? Like, I'm not sure if you have to go into arenas to earn money for, couches, or you have to do races to, unlock new curtains. I'm joking, of course. So the game itself is like, yet again, another game where I'm like, I don't care about it. But a lot of the stuff, that's where they first start talking about amiibo cards. And at first I was 50-50 because I'm like, well, yeah, this will solve the, the amiibo shortage problems. You just want an amiibo. Just cards are cheaper to produce. You can do them faster. You can do it, and so at first I was like, yeah, cards, do that. And then as I've started to talk to more people with amiibos, I've learned it's not just the gameplay, but people do like the statues. They are well made, especially, like I said, Yarn Yoshi. Want that so much. I might break my amiibo rule for it. And yes, and so when you look at it from that perspective, instead of having a badass, awesome looking statue, just having this tiny little piece of paper of a picture is kind of a gif. Um, so which is why I'm semi-happy about Animal Crossing in that you it seems to be, again, I don't know Animal Crossing, but it seems to be secondary characters I like. Hey, I've seen you before somewhere on a poster or something. So I'm hoping they do it like that, where maybe characters that aren't awesome enough to get their own amiibo will get cards. Uh, but that way at least you can unlock stuff with characters, but it doesn't require a lot of money of making a statue and you're not selling. And of course, the other big thing with the cards was they announced that the portable amiibo scanner for non-new 3DSs. Stupid title. Sorry. For that, if you have a normal 3DS like I do, you have to physically buy a scanner, kind of the Skylander portal. Um, they said it was coming out in the fall. I'm hoping they're slightly wrong. They said it's supposed to launch with this game and all that. Um, it looks very bland. As simplistic as the Smash characters are, I do like how they have the coin, and it does remind you a little bit of Smash Brothers, and even with Mario, it's just a red cylinder, but it still kind of feels right, and that's just like the photos of it are just a what for the scanner are just a white cylinder with a bunch of lights and buttons on the front. Um, so I'm hoping they do maybe a quick pass. Hopefully they haven't started building these. This quick pass, make it a little more Nintendo, a little more happy, fun, as opposed to this just white cylinder that sits there when you play games. And that's basically it. Um, so I'm already going long. Um, excuse me. Um, so normally I started doing these directs simply because I like talking about them. I think they are awesome because that itself could have been a decent E3. Not an amazing one, but a decent. And the fact that we get at least 2, 3 of these a year, I think is awesome. I mean, we just got one in February. Um, so the reason I'm just taking this time to talk, because normally I would just talk about it. Again, just very briefly, I think what this direct showed more than any other the directs is Nintendo is, again, they're still being awesome. They're still not giving up, and even though they've had to kind of change with the times, they're not losing their Nintendo essence. Um, Now I know what a lot of people are going to say, that a lot of those eShop titles are not Nintendo properties or second party. They're all other people who probably made Nintendo do that deal. Same or stuff with like Pokemon Rumble U being microtransaction. It's just a crappy, uh, you know, side property. They don't care if it tanks or whatever. Um, and the big thing I just want to say again is very briefly, Nintendo is trying, guys. I know it may not seem like it. I know right now you're like, hey, Majora's Mask was awesome. Monster Hunter, the new 3DS is awesome. Now what? And the short version is they are trying. And again, uh, I'm all over the place. In recent news, they've announced that Halo 5 is coming out this September. Uncharted 5 has been pushed to 2016, and same with Zelda. So we have no idea what the winter season is going to be. Because Sony's got no games. Microsoft, again, to my knowledge, has no major games for the Christmas holiday season. Really, the only one is Nintendo. Nintendo has stuff like Animal Crossing Home Decorator, but they still have games set up for that time period. So really, right now, it's Nintendo's year to win. Um, I know they're not going to the behemoths of Xbox and PlayStation together, but I'm hoping Nintendo at least starts to pick up traction, start to build up momentum, because all the stuff they are releasing, they are doing good. They're still trying. They're not giving up. And again, I think this direct has shown us more than any. Nintendo does what Nintendo does, and that's why Nintendo's awesome. So, having wasted 20 minutes of your time, have a good day, and we'll talk again later.